Welcome back, everybody. I am Madtown213, and today we are going to finish up the small tour. I just have one more piece to show you guys. I forgot to show you the metal mining setup that I have up on the mountain, the obelisk mountain. And then we will get right into plans for the new base, show you that location, and talk about kind of where we're going to go with that or where I'd like to go with that. What my plans in my head are. Um, a few things to start off with. Hopefully, you can tell by now I did get the graphics situation fixed, so hopefully, you guys are seeing the same thing that I'm seeing now. It was a conversion uh, setting that I had in OBS. That's the recording software that I use. Um, So that should be fixed. I also changed the bloom quality um, down to 0, so we shouldn't have bad glare or lighting or anything in the snow biome or any of the early morning or late night or late afternoon sun glare. So that should all be fixed. Sound again is still about a week away, maybe two, and editing about the same time. So yeah, one mistake from the last episode that if anybody watches it, I'm sure will point out. I did call a Quetzal Doedicurus like twice. Um, so I did notice that. This is new to me, um, and my brain's doing 15 things at once. And it was just a basic omittance or error that I made. So no need to comment on that if you haven't already. I understand it's a Quetzal. So but that all being said, let's get started and head right to um, the mountain mining setup that I have. And we'll show you around up there. So um, it's pretty much the only mountain that has an obelisk on it, and it's the snow mountain. So be pretty easy to find for you guys to set this up yourself if you want to work that way. Works really nice if you build on this side of the island or anywhere um, over in this direction. So we'll head up there, and can't really tell now until about midday. So hopefully be able to see that the bloom is gone now in the snow biome. So that should make things a little nicer to look at. And with the graphics kicked up, um, I think I'm good to go in this, at least the graphics section of these videos. So yeah, we'll show you this real quick. It's a very quick jaunt. Um, Normally with the Quetzal, it's much quicker. One trip up here, you can usually get everything. Now, this isn't massive. I've seen much bigger metal setups, but we only have two. It's me and my brother, so we only have, we don't have a large need for metal, but I do want to make sure we have enough. So what we usually do, or what I usually do, is I'll fly up here with my bird. I do have an anklo up here, relatively high anklo. I think it's a 119 or something. Um, and just mine away and get some metal started in some forges, make some spark powder, and let that cook, and then just go about my business, and then come back in a day or two, and all my metal's there for me. So I only have two forges up here, one anklo. So like I said, it's nothing. It's not a major setup, but this area up here on top of this mountain is probably the most perfect place on the entire island to mine metal because no enemies spawn up here whatsoever. I think they stop right about here-ish on the trail, or right down there. Um, Animals just, or dinos, anything, nothing will come up this far. Um, so it's a perfectly safe place. There's everything you need. There's crystals, obsidian, metal, rocks, flint, everything that you need. So very basic setup up here, but it's more of a function purpose than an aesthetic one. So we just have a platform with a couple beds or a bed. Um, have our little mortar and pestle here for spark powder. I don't know if we have any in. No. And then we just got three boxes. This one where we usually put the obsidian and crystals to hold. This one will hold any rocks that are left over. And then this one has got all our extra spark powder and some metal picks, which we were using before the Quetzal came along and I could bring the ankle up here. So this one is not named 133. So he works out pretty well. I'd like to get a couple more high ones just because they are very useful. So what I'll do is I'll take him, just go mine some of this metal, rocks, obsidian, crystals, dump it off, leave it in the forges, throw my spark powder in, start him up, and I head out. Um, so usually about 15 minutes I can fill those forges up, um, and it's good to go. So usually I start coming up this walkway, take all this out, and then I'll go around the interior circle and clear most of that out. And that fills up more than I can handle in one load. And so I just come back for any extra rocks or obsidian or crystals. So where we're going today, the new base. My idea, so I've been looking around quite a bit. And the North Island, I'd like to be close enough to the metal, but not so far away from everything else. Being in the north with our base right over there, um, it's not perfectly ideal. It's really nice. It works out great, but Chaos Pass is really important to go to, like this where the swamp area is now, and we're just too far away from it. Volcano's not too far away, but again, everything is too far away. So I'd like to be a little more centrally located, and my new idea is over here, pretty much right above Copernicus's head, um, right in that little bay. You guys probably know the place already. It's got the double waterfall, and it's the river that cuts, that leads up to this pond. If you follow this little lake here, follow that river, it comes out over here. And that's where I would like to build. Gives me a lot of flat, open space. I like the surrounding natural area, and I think it's going to fit our needs much better than the current base we have because we're outgrowing that very quickly. And especially now the Gigantosaurus or Gigantosaur, or is it Megasaur? Megasaurus? The big ass one that's bigger than the T-Rex and the Spino is coming in the next day or two. And we'll obviously want one or two of those just to have. I don't know how useful they're going to be or what their perks are going to be, but um, would like to have a couple just to tame. And right now, we're not going to have space for those. So, or space in my OCD head so I can put them someplace in order. So I think this place is going to work out really nice. Um, what I'd like to do, well, first I'll go to kind of where our central base I'd like it to be located. Um, and I'm pretty much going to be jumping into building probably the next episode, right? Or at least starting to lay out everything. I'll probably bring a mammoth, the armadillo, what else? Probably an anklo and a deer, a megalosaurus over here for thatch, just so I have all my building animals over here and probably set up some type of small defense. But yeah, so this is the spot. I'd like to put our main base. Let me fly over here. All right, so this is probably a pretty good view of what I'm talking about. So, and I'll fly in closer as I describe things, but in general, right along this river, I'd like to have a base, 4 stories tall, 4 walls high each story, so it'll be 16, and it's gonna split. The river's gonna split the base in half on the first floor. On the first floor, I want the middle to be open so you can see the river. Um, and then on the second, third, and fourth floors will all be closed. Maybe we'll see how it works out. But um, so it's going to start on so you can see there's like a natural groove or like pocket right by that waterfall up there, and it's going to be about that big and come all the way out to this waterfall. So it's going to be a long, not very wide, but much longer than wide base. And on the first story will be for like eagles and things like that. Second story will probably be for mating or like raising animals and such. And third story will be the major. Well, actually, I guess it's only maybe going to be 3 stories. Because third story, the top floor I want to be for crafting and storage. And then the very on top of it all, yeah, I guess maybe we'll do 3 stories. We'll see how it works out. But then the very top is it's going to be kind of like an airport or a landing strip with some storage and uh, parking places for Quetzals and um, the eagles I use often, maybe a pterodon or pteranodon up there, and some things up there. So then, so that'll be the base. Right where you can kind of see is orange. That's going to be where the base is. Now, to the right of it on the beach is where I'm going to put all of my egg animals. So everything that is um, for actually everything, all the small stuff, anything that fits in my current building um, will go down here, just out in the open. Um, and then, yeah, so it should be everything. I'll put all the females down there. And then any of the mates, the males that are high level or perfect teams that I'm going to use for mating, I'm going to put right above them on that upper tier. And I'll explain what I'll do up there shortly. I'll fly over to show you that. Um, so all the females and eggs will be down on the beach, and the studs, quote unquote, that I'll be used for mating will be up there, um, kind of out of the way. And then there's going to be a ramp that goes from the beach up to that upper part, kind of where that single orange tree is. And then all of that area is going to be fenced off. Actually, I don't want to fly over there because I want to explain this side too. Um, so there'll be a ramp to get up there to bring females up. And then that outcropping is where I'm going to put like taming and mating pens um, on that, right where that orange tree is. So we'll put some pens up there. And then when I fly over there, you'll see the natural landscape is going to work really well to fence that off. So that whole area will be part of the base, along with that whole beach. On this side, I'm going to put the farming and compost and all that stuff over here. And then up on that ridge, I'm going to back T-Rexes, mammoths, spinos, one of the new megalosauruses up there with their tails or asses hanging off the edge. So the large um, feces will drop right off the edge. So I don't have to keep running between their legs. I'm hoping if I back them up all correctly, because I don't use them very often, most of them, um, that they'll all just drop right there on the base, and then I can just run along the base and pick it all up instead of weaving in and out of stuff. And then just drop it right off in a compost bin that or setup that'll be over there, and I'll have more than 4, probably 6 or 8 compost bins, and then the garden will probably be or farm, whatever you want to call it, will be right up here in the front. I do want to have a really cool large porch off this edge that uses some ramping system that drops down to a pier that's flush with the water, and then probably go out all the way out to where you see the rock end over there with the sand, and it'll do the same thing over there. So it'll be one long huge pier here, and then the outer wall. This is really deep. It almost goes straight down right there, so this is going to be perfect for our deep water animals once we get a mosasaur and things like that. Build a wall probably out just a little bit from that tip right there, maybe 4 or 5 out, and then straight across to that tip over there. And that should give us plenty of deep water room and then more than enough shallow room. So we'll start stocking up on dolphins. And I know they have a lot of water creatures planned coming up. So I want to make sure we have plenty of room for, there's jellyfish and all sorts of stuff that they got coming up. So I want to make sure we have enough room. And it's also going to include this super cool, probably one of the coolest coral areas in this game that I've seen. I'm sure there's a couple more that are pretty cool, but this will be, I want, in our base. And then the pier will kind of wrap right there along that natural L. So you can walk along there and just kind of admire the scenery. Um, the, so that's kind of this beach area. I hope you guys can follow along with my vision and have an idea of what I'm talking about. Um, Now along this wall or this edge, I would like to put a fence that's going to go probably. So I'd like to match up right. So you can see how that ridge right there goes down on a natural slope, right about, you know, on that little hump right there. I want to bring that straight here out to the water, just a straight fence. And that will be where our behemoth gates or gates, a couple gates are, and a giant fence. Um, and that will separate us from the rest of the outer world. And then uh, I I want it this close because there is a ton. This is a great thatch area, and I can only imagine. I mean, there's nothing in the way except for little trees. So if you take your megalosaurus out here, or the elk, and just plow through these trees, there is a ton of thatch right here. So this will be a perfect little thatch area. And as the game goes on, and as they introduce more bigger dinos, if we need more room, I'll incorporate this flat area as kind of another external pen. Um, Maybe just have some wild animals in and just let them roam. I don't know. We'll see. So that wall is going to come all the way up here. Probably meet right here with this little hump right there. Now, as you can see, there's this nice little natural walkway right here. Now, I have to clear this all out before I really can see I don't know what this land is going to look like. So I'll have to clear it out, but my idea is to run that fence. So this will kind of be a corner. And then run this fence straight up here to allow, yeah, right up into this little plateau. And that will allow me to use this natural walkway right here. And this is where I'll be storing my T-Rexes and Spinos and, have their tails and stuff hanging off the edge, so they can drop all their shit down there, and I can just run along this wall and pick it up. Um, I'm hoping that's going to work. So then I'll run the fence line all the way out to the river. And as you can see, this is going to be a very big build, which is my plan. So it'll probably come out to here somewhere in this area. And then I'll build a bridge or a walkway, a crossing path, very similar to the one we have at the base we have now. And then the wall will continue straight. I am going to have a behemoth gate in the river to bring in, spinos and anything, because the river is a good entry point. It's usually pretty clear um, for mammoths and rexes and spinos and stuff like that. So I'll have a behemoth gate there, and that way you can come in and pick which way you want to go, either to the left yard or the right yard. Um, so this, then we'll have a wall that continues right up here. I'll have another behemoth gate right here because this is the dry riverbed that leads right to Chaos Pass. And this is we use this all the time, even now, to get back and forth. And I may turn that into some type of exactly what's in there, like a Bronto or Spino little taming area. We'll see how it works. At least for a travel path, so we can bring our big land animals down to Chaos Pass, which is just right over the hill. Get off me, fucking bug. Um, so yeah, that'll be a great little pathway, and there'll be a behemoth gate that enters right into that, and then another one that enters into the river. So then the wall will continue. There's a natural barrier in here somewhere, and if there isn't, we'll make one. Well, it won't be natural, but we'll make a barrier. Um, yeah, we'll figure something out over here, but I want to wall this all off kind of right where the tree. Oh, there it is. So then there's this ridge that I want to build walls up on this ridge up here. Probably just 3 or 4 high to keep things out from falling down. And then we'll have this whole area as our own. So you can see this ridge kind of just keeps going right over to this it's like a little pocket over here. So yeah, so this ridge keeps going all the way along, so I'll build walls up there to keep anything from dropping in, and then walls along this little ridge to keep our stuff from falling out. And then there'll be a behemoth gate right here in this little natural walk up or ramp, path, whatever. And then same thing over here. So this is where the mating, taming pens are going to be. So I'll wall and fence all that off and make a bunch of different sized pens. So when we need to breed, oh, I'm out of stamina. So when we need to breed different size creatures, make sure we have the room to keep them together. Um, and I think that should be enough room. Um, I can always come out further than I planned to make more room for, maybe the bigger pens, like for mammoth breeding and Rex and Spino breeding. Maybe those will come out here somewhere. And then I'll have a bunch of the smaller pens with maybe like a middle walkway, and then pens on one side left and pens on another side the right. Different sizes, so that'll be fun experimenting with that. And then this will also double function as a taming pens. So I will need to put walkways up there so you can look down in them to knock out and tame things that we drop in there, raptors and wolves and sabers, so forth and so on. And then, yeah, so this is where the males will be up here. The good males, the studs. I think I'm going to start killing off creatures that we don't need. Low-level males especially. Pretty much any female is always going to be good just because there's a possibility she'll lay an egg. So we'll keep all females, but any low-level males, I think I'm just going to kill off. And only tame like 85 or higher. So on this server, as I've said before, 88 is the highest level you can get um, as a wild animal, but I'd like to stick 85, 86, 87, 88-ish. Maybe go down to an 83 if I absolutely have to, if I really can't find something. Um, but those stud males for mating will just stay up here out of the way. And then all the females and egg situation will be down here. I was also thinking of putting, because this is a nice little outcrop that I like. Now, I don't want animals this far away from the base, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be okay with this, but I was thinking about maybe putting like the wolves and sabers and stuff over here. This will be kind of like maybe my predator pen. I don't know. We'll see. But as you can see, there's going to be plenty of room for us to expand and grow with the game. I don't think we'll need another base after this. Um, as the game has grown, we've needed to grow with bases and sizes and yards and all sorts of stuff. And having a building this big and long will allow for any type of new, if they implement new crafting, which I believe they're going to be doing, I think it's just going to be skill-based stuff. But if they do introduce new machines, we'll have room to put them. So when I lay things out, I'm going to consider expansion and not put everything so tight together. Um, one side will probably be most likely the left side of the river will be crafting on the top floor, and the right side will be storage. And the reason is um, my mammoths and spinos and rexes will be up there on the left side, and your animals do get some experience if they are close enough to your when you're crafting stuff. Um, so I think that far right in that pocket by the waterfall is where I'm going to put like the fabricator and the smithy and stuff like that. Just to, if they get extra XP, it'll give the guys that I want that to go to the opportunity to obtain it. So yeah, so that's my plan. Obviously, see, this is going to take quite a long time. This is going to not be an overnight thing, especially because I'm going to build all of the base itself out of stone. I've seen people do metal, and yes, it looks cool. Um, that is not something I'm willing to. It's way too grindy. It's so expensive. So expensive. And I'd rather do a large build out of a pretty good material than a small build out of the best material. Just my personal opinion. Um, Other people have done metal, so if you want to see metal, you can go check that out. But I think I'm going to stick with stone, and that will help me, hopefully, this time achieve that castle look that I was going for that I failed miserably at on our last base. I kind of gave up on it and just went for function. This time I'm going to go for both. I've learned enough, I've played enough this game. I think I can incorporate both look, form, and function into this build, and that's what I plan on doing. So as you can see, there's a shark down there. So this will probably be a nice little area of quite a few sharks out there. So I'll definitely need to build a pen to keep my guys safe. So that's going to be a whole adventure on its own because this gets deep. The walls to complete this pen, fuck, uh, that's going to be probably more walls than my entire outer perimeter. I can almost guarantee it. That's just going to be so deep. And actually, I've never built that deep before, so I don't know how it's going to work, but I guess we'll find out. That shark attacking the other shark? Oh, it's a turtle. So yeah, so hopefully you guys can kind of follow along with my vision. Um, I hope I explained it well enough. I think I did. Essentially, the base is going to just be squared up with this waterfall or this ridge right here, go straight back into that pocket as a very long rectangle. And then there'll be some, and then I will have little outbuildings for whatever. I don't know what, but I'll figure them out. Make this a kind of a little village or a big village. And yeah, pay a lot of attention to the aesthetics this time, as well as I want things to work efficiently. So yeah, that's my plans. Hopefully, again, I explained it so you guys understand it. If you don't, in the next couple episodes, we will be starting to lay down foundations, starting to square things off, trying to map out with Thatch how this is all going to work or if it's going to work, and then adjust accordingly. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Showed you the metal forge up on the Snow Mountain obelisk and gave you guys a hint or sneak preview into this new location for my mega base. And I know Josh will be helping. I don't know when he's going to join us. Today is Monday. He usually plays Monday nights, but um, he just got engaged, so they've been kind of busy planning all that stuff. So we will see if he'll be on in the next couple episodes. I think by episode 10, he'll probably be joining us at least once or twice. So you guys will get a chance to meet him, and yeah, we'll go from there. So thank you very much for joining me today, and we'll see you guys next time.